because I don't think it's even close. LeBron should not be mentioned in the same name with Michael Jordan. And that's what it like hurt people's feelings to hear that. Watching LeBron play the game and knowing the way MJ played the game and the way he prepared for the game, it is a disrespectful disgrace that somebody started putting LeBron James with his bag and his skill set that is showing now that he has to go do a pick and roll in order to get a point guard on him so that he can do a turnaround jump shot that doesn't get blocked by somebody his size. This is LeBron James' bag.
But this time, he didn't just critique the king. He tried to erase him from the GOAT debate entirely. According to the former number one pick, the file is closed. Comparing LeBron to Jordan isn't just wrong, it's a fantasy. Brown claims this whole narrative is a media-driven illusion inflated by networks that ignore what pure, unadulterated dominance actually felt like. Jordan didn't care who was guarding him at 40. Or even today. Legends like Kobe and MJ didn't cheat the sport. They honored the grind. You play defense to break the will of the man across from you. So, does LeBron actually belong on Mount Rushmore? Or has playing for 2 decades just tricked everyone into seeing greatness? Sound off in the comments. Look, I lived it with MJ. I saw the rituals in the morning, the afternoon, dead of night. Same with Kobe Bryant. I witnessed these Titans at their absolute peak and their lowest lows when they were raging and when they were cracking jokes. I saw the whole picture. So if every fan with a keyboard gets an opinion, my firsthand experience counts for double in this debate. I've been telling you guys, kill this GOAT talk right now, period. Brown argues the issue isn't just Twitter arguments. It's that people who never watch Jordan practice, prepare, or destroy opponents in real time are trying to rewrite history. Brown insists that watching LeBron now, in the twilight of his career, reveals a fatal flaw. His game was never built on surgical skill the way Jordan's was. Now that the freakish athleticism is fading, there is nowhere left to hide. To explain why Kobe sits above LeBron, I have to knock James down a peg or two. And to explain why MJ reigns supreme, the truth might hurt LeBron's legacy a little bit. Brown sets the stage immediately. He survived both eras. He shared the floor with Jordan and Bryant. He studied their habits at breakfast, during drills, and under the bright lights. He saw the anger, the laser focus, the downtime, and the exhaustion. Because of that access, he believes. His testimony ends the argument. This isn't analysis from a highlight reel. This is eyewitness evidence. LeBron's bounce is gone, just like we predicted. Now he's reduced to bulldozing into the lane and praying the referee bails him out with a whistle. And this is who you want to crown the greatest scorer ever? Please. He was a transition monster. We have the tape of him cherry-picking. With that speed, sure, he racked up points over 23 years. It's simple math. But when we talk about getting a bucket, a pure isolation, get out of my way bucket, and you put him above Jellybean's son or Mike, you don't know basketball. According to Kwame, those legends didn't cut corners. They simulated war. They practiced at full combat speed and fixed the cracks in their armor before tip-off. Jordan rehearsed shots for the double teams he knew were coming. Kobe drilled 7-move combinations at game intensity daily. Their prep wasn't about saving legs or pacing themselves. It was about annihilation, breaking the opponent mentally and physically. The way MJ owned the court, watching Kobe and Steph Curry train is a different animal. You don't see them wasting time on one-legged circus shots like LeBron does. The reason Kobe and Mike didn't last 23 seasons is because they left their souls on the practice floor. MJ trained knowing the trap was coming, so he perfected the fadeaway. I used to watch him and think, what the hell? I'm thinking, why is he stressing he's out there alone, boom, boom, pulling up, snap, release? I'm just a teenager watching a master at work thinking, what is this? He was visualizing the defense, recreating the pressure, moving at full velocity. Then I get traded to LA and see Kobe in the post doing the exact same insanity, 8 different cuts, fake left, hard right, attack the paint, throw it down, move, fadeaways, step backs, A lethal arsenal honed at full velocity, day in and day out. This is exactly where Kwame sees the divide. When looking at King James, Brown sees a career built on raw power and freakish genetics, not technical mastery, instead of a deep bag of skills. And as Father Time catches up, Kwame insists the facade is finally crumbling. The king is headhunting for mismatches now, desperate for a switch, begging for a smaller guard, relying on screens, anything to get a little guy on an island, just so he can pull up without getting swatted by a real big. You don't survive to year 23 by accident, but your legs don't lie. I saw Bryant when critics claimed his defense was washed. The man was running lateral slides like a rookie. I asked myself, what on earth is he doing? But he was grinding, ensuring his armor had zero chinks. Mamba, his airness, they never cut corners. They honored the sport. You lock down on defense because you want to own the floor. You want to crush whoever stands across from you. You go hard in the All-Star Showcase because when you're surrounded by legends, you have to prove you're the alpha. Kwame claims MJ didn't give a damn about who checked him. Even at age 40, Brown swears Jordan could undress any opponent, navigate to his kill zone, elevate, and bury it. Stick a 7-footer on him, Mike's getting a bucket, regardless. That supreme belief that automatic nature is the line between a true assassin and a system player. Kwame takes it a step further, roasting the entire modern era. He thinks the league today is soft, rewarding buddies over battles. Everyone's too friendly. Back in the day, the All-Star game was a war zone. Guys played for blood to establish the hierarchy. Stops mattered because pride was on the line. Brown insists that killer instinct is dead, and James is the face of that decline. One of the harshest takes involves an obsession with the box score. He labels the king a stat chaser, not denying his talent, but arguing that sticking around isn't the same as ruling the court. Playing 23 years, dropping 25 a night, while resting on back-to-backs. Of course, the numbers pile up. That doesn't make you the scoring GOAT. It just makes you the longest lasting. Imagine if Mike or Kobe had suited up for 24 campaigns. Playing elite ball that long, James wouldn't even sniff that record. Remember, Jordan played before the three-point explosion, when hand-checking was legal and the lane was clogged. Even then, Kwame thinks Mike hits 50,000 points if he stretched his career out like LeBron. But here's the catch. Jordan's practice intensity destroyed his body. That's the crux of the argument. Those legends couldn't play forever because they trained at championship intensity. Every single morning. No pacing. No coasting. They chose dominance over duration. James took a different route. Kwame gets the logic, but he won't label it legendary. He also attacks the skill set itself. He says James was never a natural scorer. A freight train on the break? Sure. A beast driving the lane? Absolutely. But in the half court, Kwame claims he can't touch the bag of MJ, the Mamba, or even Kawhi. We're talking pivots, counters, fadeaways, pure footwork. That stuff comes from hours in the gym, not a genetic lottery. And Kwame goes deeper. He accuses James of manipulating the press to manufacture his own myth. He points fingers at the big networks, the Disney machine, the LA media, and his own agency reps, all cogs in a system built to hype the legacy beyond what the tape actually reveals. Brown says this is exactly why certain analysts and talking heads will cap for the king regardless of the facts. Then, he drops the hammer, finals, records. 6-0 for Jordan, 4 rings and 10 tries for James, case closed. You can't put those resumes side by side. No spin, no nuance, or storytelling can change history. Jordan was flawless in the clutch. The real difference, it goes back to seeing Kobe grinding out defensive slides after taking heat from the media. No excuses, no whining, just work. That mindset is the wall between immortals and guys who just hung around, while James is bickering with refs and catching his breath, or chasing highlights. Kwame even rips the late-stage shot selection, specifically those deep logo threes. Then you've got the showboating moves that look good for the gram but don't actually get the job done. He thinks it's all smoke and mirrors to flip the script instead of raw, natural instinct. Brown insists guys like Mike and the Mamba didn't waste time with the theatrics. Every dribble meant something. Every fake had a target. The big man is hitting on a deeper culture clash here. The league used to be a battleground for supremacy where you took respect by force. Now, it's all about marketing deals, super teams, and controlling the headlines. And in Brown's eyes, LeBron is the poster child for this new era. It's not that the king lacks skills, it's that his endgame is completely different. Look, Brown isn't trying to erase LeBron's resume. He respects the sheer years on the clock. He respects the stat sheet. He even admits that James squeezed every ounce of potential out of his career. But legendary status, that's not about punching the clock or racking up totals. It's about how you played the game. It's about the grind in the dark and the terror you struck in hearts when the buzzer was looming. Honestly, Kwame thinks the whole greatest of all time war is toxic because it just tears legends down. But if we're forced to choose, he's drawing a line in the sand. LeBron James isn't sitting at the same table as Jordan. Not in talent, not in killer instinct, not in homework, and definitely not in pure dominance. That's Brown's verdict. The real hoop heads know the score. The OGs know it. Anyone who watched those 90 seconds finals knows it. The only ones debating this are the ones blinded by ESPN story arcs and box scores. And as long as the media keeps spinning the yarn, the argument won't die. But for Kwame, case closed. Jordan set the bar. Kobe matched that energy. LeBron, he built his own highway. It's durable, it's historic, and it's massive, but it lacks that mythical edge required for the top spot. Listen, this isn't hate. It's not about diminishing what Bron has built. Showing up matters. Staying healthy matters. Getting buckets matters. But the pantheon of gods, that requires more than math. It's about imposing your will until the other team breaks. It's about the work you did when the cameras were off. And it's about delivering when the world was watching. That is the yardstick Kwame Brown is using. And plenty of fans feel like that standard has gotten soft lately. The real reason people get so fired up is because we've started confusing hanging around a long time with actually taking over. Twitter highlights and 24-hour news cycles make it easy to sell a story rather than dissect the film. Numbers lie, they don't measure heart, preparation, or the fear factor. Brown says if you really watch the tape and listen to the guys who battled in the trenches, the chasm between Mike and Bron is just too wide to bridge. So pass the ball to you. How do you measure a legend? Is it about fear, rings, and skill? Or is it about years, totals, and brand impact? Your answer decides the winner. We want to hear your take. Sound off in the comments below. And if you dig these gritty basketball deep dives, smash that like and subscribe button because this war is far from over.